Versace.
Versace. The king of couture. Versace.
Versace, a designer.
But for you? Yes. You watching right now, what is Versace? Is Versace just a brand, or is it something more? A story of resilience, creativity, and a dream that grew beyond anyone's wildest expectations. Today, Versace is a $2 billion empire. But what if I told you it all started with a boy from one of Italy's poorest towns? Gianni grew up in the small town of Reggio Calabria, where his mother, Francesca, was a local dressmaker. He watched her make clothes for women, seeing firsthand how clothing could transform the way people felt about themselves. This was where his passion began.
So here's lesson 1. Find your passion early and immerse yourself in it. Gianni didn't just stumble into fashion, he lived it from childhood. If you want to succeed, dive deep into what you love and become obsessed with the details.
But Gianni wasn't like other kids. He skipped school, failed his classes, and spent all his allowance on fashion magazines. His parents worried he was throwing away his future, but Gianni had something most people didn't, a clear vision of who he wanted to be. By 19, he was working full-time in his mother's shop, soaking up everything about the fashion business. But his dreams didn't stop at making dresses for locals. In 1965, Gianni took a bold step. He opened his own boutique, Lady Francesco Versace, offering clothes no one else dared to sell. His risky, revealing choices paid off when the boutique became a hit.
So here's lesson 2. Don't be afraid to take risks. Gianni took a chance by offering provocative, bold clothing in a conservative town. He trusted his instincts, and it paid off. Sometimes standing out is the only way to rise above.
Gianni knew that in order to grow, he needed to learn from the best. He networked with designers across Europe, including Karl Lagerfeld, and built relationships that would later help him in his career. By 25, he was working with top brands like Florentine Flowers, but he was far from satisfied. At 26, Gianni made a daring move to Milan, the heart of Italian fashion. He started freelancing for big names, revamping their outdated collections. But he wasn't just designing for others. He was learning, observing, and waiting for the right moment to strike out on his own.
So here's lesson 3. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Gianni's early years were all about building connections and learning from those who were already successful. Surround yourself with people who elevate you and push you to grow.
By 1978, at the age of 32, Gianni was ready to take his biggest risk yet, launching his own brand, Versace. With financial backing and support from his family, he opened his first boutique in Milan. There was just one rack of dresses, but that was enough to start a revolution in fashion. Gianni valued family above all else. He appointed his brother, Santo, as CEO and his sister, Donatella, as vice president. Together, they built Versace into a brand that would dominate the world. Their loyalty to each other kept the business strong through every challenge.
So here's lesson 4. Your team is your greatest asset. Gianni built Versace with his family, relying on their strengths to complement his own. Whether it's family or a trusted team, surround yourself with people who believe in your vision and will fight for it with you.
Throughout the 1980s and 90s, Versace became the go-to brand for celebrities like Elton John, Madonna, and Princess Diana. Gianni knew the power of publicity and was one of the first to blend fashion and celebrity culture, turning his shows into must-see events. Gianni practically invented the era of the supermodel. He hired Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, and other icons of the day, knowing that people would buy not just the clothes, but the lifestyle Versace represented. Versace wasn't just about Milan and Paris. In 1979, Gianni opened his first store in China, years before most fashion houses even thought of entering the Asian market. He had the vision to expand globally and take his brand where others didn't dare.
So here's lesson 5. Think global from day one. Gianni didn't limit his vision to Italy or even Europe. He knew there was a world of opportunity out there, and he expanded his business globally. If you want to grow big, think bigger.
Despite his success, Gianni remained grounded. He would visit nightclubs in Miami to watch what people were wearing, always looking for inspiration. He never lost touch with the people who fueled his creativity. But in 1997, tragedy struck. Gianni Versace was murdered outside his Miami home by a serial killer. The world mourned the loss of a fashion icon. But was this the end for Versace, or just the beginning of the legacy? After Gianni's death, his sister Donatella stepped in as creative director. Many doubted her, but she proved them wrong. Under her leadership, Versace continued to thrive, even creating some of the most iconic designs in history, like Jennifer Lopez's famous jungle print dress. In 2018, the Versace family sold the company for $2.12 billion. From a small-town dress shop to a global fashion empire, Gianni's dream became a reality far beyond his lifetime. Could you build something that stands the test of time? So, what do you think? Was Gianni Versace a calculated winner, or did luck play a role in his rise? Comment below and tell us how you plan to be the next Versace in your own field. What risks are you willing to take? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another inspiring story. Keep coming back, because your future could be just one bold step away.